fight season is now officially underway.
Yes, it's all up and running.
Yes, and we're bringing you our second podcast in the space of a week. Our podcast guest earlier this week, Mercedes Martinez, although she's wrestling in a bunch of different fight season shows, one of the reasons we had her on was part of the promotion and the build-up for Bellatrix this weekend. But Bellatrix is not the only show that's happening this weekend. Also happening this weekend is AIW Girls Now Out 9 and 10. And we have the champion.
Only the best.
Well, yeah, only the best is good enough. But the champion is here. Allysin Kay is on the show. It's going to be the second time she's been on the podcast with us, but she got a lot to talk about since the last time she was on. So, we're going to have chat about Japan, AIW, WSU, Shine, Shimmer, Femme Fatale, all sorts of stuff. And she, much like Mercedes, is going to be involved in a bunch of different fight season shows. In fact, other than Bellatrix this weekend, which she obviously can't be on, and Femme Fatale, she's on all the rest of the shows. So that's AIW, WSU, Shine, and Shimmer.
Certainly a busy young lady is our Allysin Kay.
Yes, yeah, and she's only just come back from Japan and already got a bunch of bookings. How about that?
Yeah.
But apart from that, what else is going on, Lee? We've had the announcement of the Shine 14 card.
Quite a star-studded card as well, because it's kind of the international show that you've got, because a lot of the women are over here for Shimmer, so a lot of them are going to be part of Shine as well, and maybe doing slamming ladies customs and things like that. The main matches, Rain defends the Shine Championship against Hiroyo Matsumoto. Should Kelly Skater and Tomoka Nakagawa make it through the Shimmer tapings as tag team champions, they will defend against some girl called Allysin Kay and Evilise Velez as well. And then also you've got a last woman standing match, Jessica Havoc versus Suraya Night, and it was one of 3 international dream matches, as they're being called, Amazing Kong against Madison Eagles.
Yeah, that's not going to be bad, is it?
It's not bad.
And there's a full supporting card as well. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff on there. That is going to be October 25th for Shine.
You can check out the whole card on the website right now. There's a post on it.
Yes. I feel almost silly mentioning this, given that we've got Bellatrix and given that we've got AIW this weekend as far as women's wrestling to talk about. But something that's not officially part of fight season is WWE Battleground. And the Divas title will be defended as AJ Lee defends against Brie Bella.
Which is weird, considering the early signs were pointing towards AJ defending the belts against Natalya.
Yes, but then, of course, Brie and Daniel Bryan got engaged.
Now,
everything changed.
Now, I'm not saying that it's coincidental that the proposal took place while there was a bunch of Total Divas cameras around and it's automatically been slipped into a storyline that involves the WWE title match and also the Divas title match, but it's worked out quite well for them, hasn't it?
Yes. And as far as I understand, the Total Divas cameras are still filming in and around the area of WWE. So I reckon there's a good chance that we might finish up Sunday's pay-per-view with Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan as the best male and female wrestler in the world.
Imagine that.
Imagine that, if you will. So there you go. So yeah, that's coming up this weekend as well. So Sunday's going to be a busy day. But let's talk indies, let's talk fight season, and let's talk Allysin Kay.
Just before we get to Allysin Kay, the usual stuff about the High Spots advert that we've got on the website. Click on it, save it as a bookmark, buy stuff from there. We get a bit of a kickback. Site stays free. Everyone's happy.
Subscribe on iTunes. It's great. Leave us a review. You can send us email. That's pretty much the Cliff Notes version of the shill.
Yeah, if you want to hear the whole shill, go back and listen to the Mercedes Martinez interview. It's all on there.
Yeah, really. So apart from that, let's get a guest, shall we?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, and we are back on the podcast now, and I'm not sure what it is, but a certain air of classiness has somehow overcome the usually uncouth Women of Wrestling podcast, and I don't know what it is, but I'm looking down at my hand and my pinky finger's kind of stiffened up and it's pointing to the ceiling.
That's gout.
And I can only assume if it's not gout, we must have Allysin Kay with us. Have we got Allysin Kay here?
What is up?
My finger, apparently.
I like that.
And that
I like
disgusting.
that whole introduction.
Yes, welcome back. Literally to the West after your trips overseas.
Yes.
And you're back just in time. We're going to talk about Japan as that comes around, but you're back just in time to main event. Girls Night Out 9 and 10 this weekend, this Sunday, October 6th. And you're going to be going against Veda Scott, not once but twice. Once in tag team format, once in singles format. What you got to say about that?
I'm so glad you brought that up right off the bat. I'm actually sorry to put a damper on the whole mood right away, but to put it simply, I cannot stand Veda, and I can't wait to beat her ass this Sunday. It's probably the easiest way to put it.
That was blunt.
Yes.
She put out a video promo today where she said that she has 9 lives.
Oh, I know. I saw it.
How many do you think she's used so far, and how many do you think you're going to have to kill off?
See, I would have thought that she's well past 9 already. That's why that doesn't make sense to me. But I've seen Suraya Night basically rip her head off at the last Shimmer, and I feel like that counts for at least 3. But I don't know how that works, so I'm not sure. And it's hard for me to say much on that because there is a response coming soon to that whole thing. So I don't want to say too much and give it away.
But you've got this dream partner thing coming up as well as part of Girls Night Out 9, the afternoon show before Girls Night Out 10 in the evening. And while you'll be defending your title against Veda in the main event of number 10 and number 9, it's going to be you and a partner versus Veda and a partner. And you teased some stuff on a podcast or on an interview earlier this week on YouTube. Anything you need to tell us about what's going to be happening in that match?
I don't even know what's going to be happening in that match. As far as I am concerned, I don't even know if Veda will make it to the main event of Girls Night Out 10.
FYI, Mildred Burke is still dead.
Still?
She's still dead, yes.
Independently verified, yeah.
Oh. From who? Who did you hear that from?
I don't want to say, but it involved shovels.
Oh. That's actually really upsetting.
Yeah. She's either selling really well or she's dead.
She was an amazing worker, so she could be selling.
You are using the word amazing quite a lot, I've noticed.
Am I?
Yeah, you used the word amazing during this promo when you were talking about who you were talking up as well. You said they were amazing, they were awesome, and it seemed like you were going somewhere with it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She's cagey, this one, Stu.
Yeah, there's probably only one way to find out about who your partner's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be to buy a ticket to AIW Girls Night Out 9 and 10, October 6th. Is the usual venue for Girls Night Out, isn't it?
Yes, Turner's Hall in Cleveland.
There you go. There's lots of other good stuff on that show as well, Lee. Have you got a talent list to hand? But there's some cool stuff there if you're within travelling distance of Cleveland.
Of course I have a talent list.
I know, this is the one thing you're good at.
This is why we have a Ring Bells Roundup, ladies and gentlemen. Girls Night Out 9, we've got Celicia Sparks against Taylor Hendricks. You've got Kimberly versus Nikki Storm. You've got Jules Malone against Annie Social. Heidi Lovelace versus Melanie Cruz versus Angel Dust. Sassy Steppy versus Savannah Summers. Jasmine and Jodie DeMilo against Leva Bates and Sandra Bale. That's just Girls Night Out 9. Girls Night Out 10, as well as the aforementioned AIW Women's title match. You've got Santana Garrett versus Kimberly. You've got Nikki Storm versus Mia Yim. You've got Mickey Knuckles versus Jenny Rose. You've got Shana versus Savannah Summers. Damn it, there's a lot of matches there.
That is a metric fuck ton, I think.
Yes, it is.
Ding, 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 ding. You win the internet.
Oh, the things we talk about before we go live.
And that's very exciting to me because that gives me this incredible list of people to choose from. I'm sure all of them hate Veda in one way or another. I'm sure they cross paths with her down the line somewhere. And besides whatever you assume I'm teasing, then I think that I have quite a bit of options in front of me.
The thing is, all of these matches are kind of building up to the crescendo of this title match, and it's been going on since, the talk of it's been going on since March, since Veda won the four-way ladder match to become number one contender. It's been a long time in the making, so I think there's a lot of expectations about this match.
I think there are too, and I think people are going to be really disappointed because I think it's going to end really fast.
Wow.
Set your stopwatches.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll make history that way. The shortest match in AIW ever.
I don't know, what's the current record holder?
I don't know. I'm sure Veda's probably that holder already.
Ooh, Catty.
Yeah.
Caddy. Speaking of Caddy. No, that I'm not even gonna. I can't even.
Okay. Speaking of Girls Night Out, let's roll it back a little bit. One of the last time we talked to you in the podcast was in the lead up to and just before the cage match that you had last year with Mia Yim. Girls Night Out 7, I believe. In retrospect, shit, that was good, wasn't it?
It was good for me because I won. That was great. That was fun.
With one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life, where you threw yourself backwards with reckless abandon off the top of a cage.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Looking back on it, I'm like, I feel like I'm watching someone else. Like, no, you idiot! Oh, it worked. Okay, you're fine.
Were you thinking anything at that point? Because that, just from the visual of it, looks spectacularly risky.
I don't know what I was thinking, other than I really don't know. I just wanted to win that bad.
It occurs to me that we were talking to John Thorne about this when he was on the podcast earlier in the year, and I think we were talking about the finish of that match, in fact, and he was saying about how he and a bunch of guys were all basically underneath you at the time, and in the fear that you might fall to your imminent doom. Did you have any idea about that? Were you even aware that there were people underneath you if that all went wrong?
I knew that the guys were outside of the cage as enforcers or whatever they were called at the time, but I did not know that they were under me in the pictures. It's actually kind of comical when I look back. I feel like it kind of kills it almost to see me flying back, but then all these people have their hands up. But I wasn't aware that they were directly under me. I knew that they were out there and that if something went wrong, whatever, but no, I did not know they were directly under me, but I think they actually did end up kind of helping me down afterwards, because that's a weird position to try to get out of once you're in it.
No kidding. Is that your favorite moment in Girls Night Out so far, that match?
I would say so, because it was the definite, and it was me proving that me winning the championship wasn't a fluke. A lot of people got a lot of joy out of that finish, so it is one of my top moments, but one of my favorite matches was the weapons match that I had with Mia.
And that was the show before that, Girls Night Out 6, I think, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. The Girls Night Out shows have been very good to you, and I mean, it occurs to me as you're talking about that, proving that you were the champion. I remember we said this to you when we talked to you last time, and it's still the case. You've never lost a title.
That's true. I haven't. I've been the AIW Women's Champion and the WSU Tag Team Champion for over a year now.
Forever, it seems like.
Forever and ever.
Yeah. But have you had a chance to? Have you followed anything of American wrestling while you've been off gallivanting through Japan, or?
Yeah, for the most part, I was always on social media. Anyone who's following my Instagram or Twitter sees that I was always posting pictures throughout the whole trip. Kind of my way of avoiding having to answer the same question a million times when I got back. But yes, I did keep up to date through social media for the most part.
Let's talk about Japan, though. You were there for 3 months. How did it all come about, first of all, and how excited were you to try and get out there to Japan, given what that means in the grand scheme of things as far as wrestling is concerned?
It came about, I'm friends with Jenny Rose, and I'm also friends with Sumi Sakai. And Sumi knew that I was interested in going to Japan, so when an opening came about, she messaged me first. And that was actually, I ended up going in July, but I think the email started back and forth like earlier that year, like January or February. We didn't get to make it happen for quite a few months. So I was very excited because I think it was like a year prior to that I mentioned wanting to go over there.
And when you were over there, a big part of what you were doing was working with and training at Diana. So you've been training with Kyoko Inoue, I suppose, quite a lot of the time.
Yes.
How was that? I mean, talk about how that's different from any training you've ever had in the past.
The training over there is much more consistent as far as how often it occurs, and it was interesting. I'll say that. Because I heard a lot of different stories before I went over there. Everyone has their stereotype in their mind of Japan. I don't think that my experience necessarily fit that stereotype. I didn't. I don't even know how to explain it really. It wasn't as torturous or difficult for me, but I think that's just because of how my training was in America.
Right. So
if that makes sense.
Your stereotype then basically that, you go out there and they would, hit you with kendo sticks and, make you do hundreds of press-ups with a sumo wrestler on your back, that sort of thing? Is that
not that extreme, but everyone has that in their mind that they're going to have to basically like break their legs before they go out for a match. Like you have to do 1,000 of these and 1,000 of those, and then you have to go wrestle. And it wasn't exactly that way, but that's not to say that it wasn't difficult at all. It definitely was a huge change in an entire lifestyle. Like we have to wake up early in the morning. You have to go clean the dojo. You have like your free time to train, which was like weight training for me. And then you have your actual training with everyone else as well. And there was actually a time where it slowed down a little bit. Maybe that's what made it slightly easier. But the young girl, Sadi, she got injured at some point with her elbow, and she wasn't able to train as much. And since she's the young girl of the dojo, she was the one who was doing the majority of the drills.
She's really young, isn't she? What age is she?
She's 17.
17, yeah.
It's not that young when you consider some of the other ones as well.
Yeah, she's been doing it for a couple of years. I think she started when she was 14 or 15.
They do start them young in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also seems to work out. So you see some of these ones at 14, 15, or in some cases 10, 11 years old, and they just seem to pick it up really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sari is awesome. I was a little bit nervous about going over there with a girl so young because they can act young. She's still a child, and I didn't know if she was going to act like a child, but she was very mature, and she cooperated with us very well, and I enjoyed being over there with her.
One of the major problems, or one of the major questions that we always ask people who've been to Japan is, how was the language barrier for you? Was it a barrier? Do you have any problems communicating?
Communicating was actually a lot easier than I thought. That was another thing that I thought was going to be extremely difficult. I did start trying to study Japanese before I went over there a few months prior, and I think it's a little easier for me to pick it up because I already speak another language. So I think it's interesting. I speak English and Spanish, and the way that the Japanese pronounce their vowels is the exact same way that they're pronounced in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that even something so small like that helped me pick it up a little bit easier. And I was actually saying to Crazy Mary Dobson, who was over there with me for the whole 3 months, it's interesting for people who go over to Japan that don't speak English or Japanese, because I feel like if something is not in Japanese, it's going to be in English.
Yeah.
So if you don't speak either, you're kind of screwed.
It's an interesting point, yeah. So are you conversational in Japanese now, or was it a case of you ended up, using broken English to...
It's a combination of broken English and then broken Japanese. Like, I know a handful of phrases and words, but I'm not conversational. I'm not fluent.
You couldn't cut a promo in Japanese, for example? No, not that good yet. Okay.
It's just interesting that a lot of the people over there know a decent amount of English as well. So talking to people, the trainers or the people that we live with, was actually it was easier than I thought it was going to be.
You talked about Crazy Mary Dobson being over there the whole time. I mean, we saw her. She's already back in the West. Shall we say we saw her in Scotland a couple of weekends ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that would have been very helpful for you to have somebody to. You were living with her, and I guess you were with her most of the day, most of the time.
Yes, when I first went over there, it was Jessica James from Texas, and then Crazy Mary Dobson. Jessica left in the beginning of August, and then it was actually me, Crazy Mary Dobson, and Serena Deeb. And we all got
crazy trio teams.
Yes. We all got very close, and it was, I do not think I would have had the same experience if they were not there with me. It would have been completely different, and we helped each other out a lot. I can only imagine how it was for Jenny when she was over there by herself. But yeah, it helped with, it kind of just levels out your sanity whenever you're feeling homesick or you're just kind of annoyed. If you're annoyed with, I don't know, the food or the language barrier or anything, that other person that speaks your language can kind of balance that out for you.
You can have a little bit of a bitch to them about something.
Yeah, just go on a rant.
Yeah.
Did you have any of those sort of annoyances then? Anything that kind of frustrated you?
I do remember we all got frustrated at certain points. It was really just, I would say the main thing was just miscommunication. And it wasn't even, I guess the language barrier did do a lot of that. But also one thing we've learned about the Japanese is that they're obviously extremely polite, but it is also in their culture to be very passive aggressive, and they will not confront you. They're not confrontational. So you won't always know if they're not happy with something you're doing, they don't always tell you. That to me is very frustrating because I'm the opposite. I want to know if something's wrong so I can fix it, and I will tell people when I'm upset. But
So
that's just the American way, I guess.
Do you just get these kind of like disapproving looks and maybe mutterings under breath, things like that?
It's more like you'll just hear later from someone else that someone was bothered by something.
Right.
That drives me insane. You have to come up to me and tell me right away that something's wrong, and I'll be very level-headed about it, as long as you're level-headed about it. But when I hear it through the grapevine, that's when I get pissed. And then trying to explain to them, it's almost like a lost cause sometimes to try to explain to them why I'm upset. And please come and tell me first because they're not understanding what I'm saying.
I guess it's almost going against everything that they kind of instilled to do, isn't it? To say, look, this is the way I deal with things. They go, but I don't understand that way of doing it. It's nobody's fault. I guess there's no right way or wrong way. It's just a cultural thing, I suppose.
Yes, it is very much a cultural thing, and it's not that anyone was a bad person. That's just how they know how to deal with things. Same thing, like there are very minuscule cultural differences that would even get on our nerves a little bit when you're living with these people every single day. Like we would kind of just look at each other and roll our eyes. For example, when it's customary in Japan when you're eating noodles, you just slurp them up like really loudly, and we're just like, oh my gosh, what the? But it's not that they're bad people for doing so. That's just how it is in their culture, and you have to take your shoes off when you come in the dojo, for example, and they have slippers there for you, and they drag their feet across the floor. It's just one of those things. You have these new roommates, and after you listen to these same things for like months, it starts to drive you a little crazy.
If you'd been staying there for 4 or 5 months, would you have killed someone?
I don't know, because I would venture off on my own sometimes, so I was okay.
We need a new video blog called Allysin K Loses It.
You know what? That would be very entertaining for me to do, and I'm sure for everyone else to watch. I would be so down for that.
I'll set up a YouTube account immediately.
If and when I go back to Japan, we will set that up.
Oh, that would be
of just me going off.
Every time you just get randomly irritated by things, there's a quick video blog goes up. Yeah. I've been vaguely distracted in my head from just earlier on when you mentioned the term miscommunication. I just imagine if there was a wrestler called Miscommunication. She just botch it.
Oh my gosh. Miscommunication.
Yeah, miscommunication.
That'd be great.
She'd miss everything. She'd just botch every move.
What if there was another one? Maybe she can have a tag team with Miscarriage.
Ooh. Oh God!
No, too far?
Oh God!
It's
never too far.
Oh my God! We've just gone into the bad place.
I'm sorry, Lee.
Yeah.
It had to happen eventually. But yeah, I don't want to make it sound like anyone over in Japan, like they're bad people or anything like that. It's just, it was a huge cultural shock almost, and a huge cultural difference. And obviously when you live with people, no matter who they are, you're always going to be annoyed with them at some point for something, even if it's stupid.
Did it make sense then for you to be living with them for a longer amount of time? Because I guess if you were there for kind of 2 weeks or anything like that, you don't really get a flavour of the culture. But because you were there for 3 months, you really got immersed into it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
I think, did it get to the point then that you kind of just think, okay, I'll just, when in Rome, do what the Romans do?
Yeah. I didn't eat many noodles, but I'm sure if I did, then I would have done the same thing. I also didn't really wear the slippers. I would just take off my shoes and not have my socks on, and that was fine for me. I don't know. I picked up on some of the cultural things, but then other things, I kind of kept the American way, I guess.
You were out
and
there.
we taught them a lot too.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of an example now.
Yeah, please do.
I wish I could think. The only one that comes up in my mind is the worst one. We would teach Sari a lot of cuss words, of course.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Naturally.
We get bored sometimes, and we would just teach her phrases that we've told her to never, ever say to anyone that speaks English.
Oh, God. Corrupting the culture one Joshi at a time.
I know. She has to know how to defend herself if she ever comes over here.
Wow. She is.
I would love for her to come over here, by the way.
She's going to be a foul-mouthed little bitch if she ever comes over. Yeah. Okay, interesting. I wanted to ask you, because of the sort of time frame you were over, 3 months, it was right through sort of, the late summer and so on. From what I understand about Japan, I've never been there, but especially during the summer months, it's ridiculously hot and ridiculously humid.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've never experienced a heat like that in my entire life.
How do you train in conditions like that, or is stuff air-conned over there? And was the dojo air-conned? That would need to be.
Diana treated us so well. They had us set up with everything we needed. We had air conditioning and Wi-Fi. They even gave us pocket Wi-Fi so we could have it when we were on the go.
Wow.
Our selling point to them was it's for safety purposes if we get lost.
Fine.
So, and it's true. Like if we would get lost on the train, we would have internet to look it up. How do we get home? I'm sorry. What were we just talking about? I'm like
humidity.
There we go. I'm just going off onto my own other subject.
That's fine.
Yes, it was so hot, but I actually got used to it. And now that I'm back home in Detroit, I'm like, oh, it's like 50 degrees here, which I don't think you have to translate that into Celsius. I don't even remember what that is, but it's cold here and I don't like it. In Japan, I could never wear jeans. I brought 2 pairs of jeans just in case, and I don't think I ever wore either of them. I couldn't even keep my hair down. I had to have it up all the time. But you just get used to training in that humidity, and I actually kind of enjoyed it. I like sweating so much. The only downfall was that some days it was too hot to run outside. Like they actually have, I think it was like 2 or 3 in the afternoon every day. If it was really, really hot, they would have this announcement over the whole city. Like, I don't know, they have a big speaker set up somewhere, and it would be saying things in Japanese, and I'm looking at, sorry, like, what's going on? Is there like a tsunami coming or something?
What?
But she's like, oh no, it's just hot. I'm like, oh, okay. And everyone was still outside. It's not like they abandoned outside to take shelter or anything, but it was just like a warning, like it's really hot out, so don't fuck around is basically what they're saying.
That's brilliant. Announcement, it is hot.
It's really hot outside, guys. Yeah, I thought that was funny because clearly you open the door and you just start sweating.
Yeah, I heard
that
from a friend of mine who went to Japan. He said that, you would get ready to go out, by the time you left the hotel, your t-shirt was already wet.
It was terrible. I couldn't wear so many of the clothes that I brought. I had to do so much laundry because I have to keep wearing my shorts and like my cut off tank tops and stuff. It was terrible. But
just speaking of, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, but I got used to it in the end, and then I got used to it just in time to have to come home.
Just speaking of just before you come home, and also about Mother Nature in itself, I suppose you were out there for the earthquake last month as well.
I did experience an earthquake. I thought I experienced quite a few, but I wasn't sure because they were pretty small, and I kept looking around to see if anyone else was like freaking out, but they weren't. But one for sure, I woke up to an earthquake. And I remember, because in the dojo, how it was set up was there's this big room with 3 different bunk beds. And Sari was in this top bunk across from me. So I wake up, I think someone's pushing on my bed, like shaking it to wake me up. And I look over across the room and Sari like pops her head up, which she was known to do. And it was funny. She pops her head up and she's like, danger, danger, which was hilarious. It wasn't even shaking that bad, but it was enough to wake me up. And then we just we didn't even do anything. I was on the bottom bunk, and you would think that I maybe would think, oh, I should probably get out from the bottom in case his bed collapses or something. But we just kind of like stared at each other until it ended, and then we went back to sleep.
This was a 5.3 earthquake.
Really? I don't.
Yeah.
Where was it exactly? Like, where was the center of it? Do you know?
It says it 177 kilometers northeast of Tokyo.
Okay. I don't know how far.
Idea. No,
We were like an hour south. We were like an hour south of Tokyo. Wherever it didn't hit us that bad because it was not shaking that bad.
I just get the impression that after all of your, was that an earthquake? Was that an earthquake? I just kind of wanted you to get up and go, I fucking told you there was an earthquake.
Yeah.
This time.
It was weird. Like, it wasn't scary because it wasn't shaking that bad. Sorry told me that some years ago or something, they had an earthquake so bad that it uprooted trees and houses were collapsing. So it definitely was not that bad where we were.
That was probably the 2011 one, I guess.
Possibly. That was probably my biggest fear going over there, was any type of natural disasters. I wasn't afraid of, like, my living situation or what was going to happen with the wrestling. I was mainly concerned with tsunamis, earthquakes, any type of radiation, those type of things, because I have friends that were over there for that tsunami that happened a few years ago, where they actually had to leave because of it. It was so bad. So I was very happy that was the only earthquake I had to experience.
As far as wrestling in Japan is concerned, we talked about the cultural differences and the language issues and so on. Another issue that I imagine might be interesting to talk about is size difference. Mm-hmm. Because you're tall, and there's a lot of Japanese Joshi wrestlers are not.
Yes.
I seem to remember you tweeted a picture of you and Miko Satomura, and she looked kind of like a mini beside you.
Yes. A mini? Is that what you guys call little people?
Well, that's what they call them in Mexico for lucha, yeah.
Oh.
But
a mini.
Yeah, a mini.
I'm sorry, I just think that's funny.
All right, fine. But yeah, size-wise, was it weird being so much taller than a lot of people?
I wouldn't use weird. I wouldn't say weird. I enjoyed it a lot. And it's interesting because I am tall, but I don't think that I'm like big. I'm not like wide, like I'm just some monster. But to them, when they see tall, that means like you destroy everything. So it doesn't matter like anything else about you. I don't know. It was, Satomura was very short. A lot of them were very short, but I enjoyed the size difference. That's actually like my favorite. That's my favorite aspect in wrestling, to work in a match when someone is that much smaller than I am.
That's the thing. We've talked about just Japan in general, but about the wrestling, what bits of it did you enjoy the most? I mean, was there any particular matches that stood out as you said, yes, I really enjoyed that match?
One of my favorite matches there was I worked with Sendai Girls twice and representing Diana. And both days it was a tag team match where I was against Satomura. We had different partners each match, but the first one was me and Carlos Amano versus Satomura and Sari. So, and that was great too because I'm familiar with Sari. So that match, I wish I could get it on video because that was probably my favorite match there. I really just enjoy how serious wrestling is taken there. That was something that I'm not used to being in America, because here a lot of times the wrestlers act like it's so hokey and then the fans act like it's so hokey, and there it's the complete opposite. Yeah. That was one thing that's one stereotype, I guess, of Japan that was actually true. But I will say this, I was actually shocked because they use a lot more comedy in their matches than I thought they would. And I was very happy about that. I'm not saying comedy is necessarily hokey. You can do it without being hokey. They're two different things. But a lot of the matches had comedy. And I was shocked because I was under the impression that they were so serious all the time. And I was also very shocked to hear that the fans were actually not silent most of the time. There were some areas where they were, but they were like, that's when we traveled like 6 hours. And it was kind of like, I guess the equivalent of like some farm town where they don't really get wrestling a lot. So I think they were kind of almost confused. But in general, like even the other shows that we went to, like we went to a couple 01 shows, a couple BJW shows, and then the Diana shows as well, the fans are laughing, they're cheering, they're yelling. And I was not expecting that because everyone tells you, when you go over there, just don't be concerned if they're just quiet because that's how they are. They're just going to sit on their hands. And it was not like that.
Tell us all the places that you worked. I mean, some of the time you were there, it kind of goes a bit under the radar. But I mean, from what I can figure out, apart from Diana as your main sort of home base, you worked Sendai Girls, like you say. I think Reina World as well, and also I think you and Crazy Mary worked on 01 as well, which was
yes.
a bit of a strange one because they're not known for having women's matches.
Right. Yep, that is who I worked for. It was mainly Diana, and how they do it is when you're with a company, the boss or whoever's running the company will set up these bookings for you. So it's okay when you work other places as long as they are the one setting it up for you and that you're representing the company you work for. So Mary and I worked for 01 representing Diana. Mary worked for Sendai Girls once, a separate time from me, and then I worked for Sendai Girls on a double shot weekend, and then we also did Reina. So yes, I basically just repeated everything you just said.
Well, thanks. It's confirmation. I like that. You mentioned that you went to some stuff as a fan as well. BJW and 01 and so on. You said, what else did you go and see while you were out there as a fan, and what was the best match that you saw that you weren't involved with?
Most of the time when we went to these other shows, it was one of us in our group, I guess, of the dojo knew someone on that show. So they would kind of say, like, hey, come watch the show. We got you tickets. So we would go watch the show. Or one of the times I went to a BJW show, it was because Sari was wrestling Manami Toyota. So we went there to represent Diana as a group. Let me think. What was the best match that I saw? I went to BJW twice. One was what I just mentioned with Sari. The other one was, I think Mary knew someone that was on the show. We went to see her. We also went to, I'm trying to remember because I know that Serena and Mary went to different shows that I didn't go to. I think they went to like a New Japan show and maybe Noah. I can't even remember, but one of the craziest matches I saw was, what happened on that match? I know that when BJW was at Kuroken Hall, I was actually shocked. I thought that they were going to be all hardcore matches, but they weren't. And I'm trying to remember what the main event was on that show. I'm terrible. I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with remembering who it was. I'm like, that one match where that one guy did that one thing.
Oh, that
was crazy.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I saw someone do a superplex onto chairs that were set up, like open. It was like a bunch of them. I'm like, no, I'm good.
Didn't see anything you wanted to rip off then, no?
Just that. I'm going to do that to Veda. Except it's not going to be a superplex. I'm just going to throw her.
How friendly.
That's beautiful.
You really are a caring soul.
I know. Oh, you know what? I do know what it was. And I remember exactly. Oh, it was Kana versus Carlos Amano. And it was at, it wasn't Diamond Ring. I did go to a Diamond Ring show. Sorry. It was, it's going to bother me. Help me here. Name the promotions. Women's promotions.
Was it a Kana produced show? Because she does her own shows. So.
No, it wasn't Kana produced. It was an all-star show. And I have like everything pictured in my head, but the name is slipping my mind right now. And it's because I only went to one. It wasn't Wave.
Stardom? It would be Stardom.
It wasn't Stardom.
Or Oz Academy.
Oz, that's what it was. It was Oz Academy. How does that slip my mind? That's like it's 2 letters, Oz. I'm terrible with names for some reason, even with people. Like I just am terrible with names. But yes, it was Oz Academy show, and it was Kana versus Carlos Amano. And that, first of all, the production of that show was great. They had this whole, like the stage with the runway, like it was WCW or something. And that match it started slow, which I think some people didn't appreciate very much, but I did. And it ended in like a double knockout. They both have are you familiar with Carlos Amano at all?
Yes, I've seen her, yeah.
So her and Kana do have very similar styles, and it was just a very interesting bout. And if I don't know if they sell DVDs, but if they do, I would highly recommend getting one for that show, that All-Star show.
Yeah, sometimes they're on TV, so sometimes they make their way over here. I've got the show in question. It was in Yokohama.
The Oz show?
Yeah, Yokohama Bunker Gymnasium on 15th of September, I believe.
Yep.
Carlos Amano versus Kana, double KO in 12:13.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I don't know if Kana is going to do this over in the States now, but I'm sure you've seen pictures of her gimmick where she has like this face paint on now.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I would assume she's going to do it over here as well, but she had like this military jacket and like not like a really decorative one, just like a, camouflage color.
Yeah.
And then she had the hat on and she did like this creepy walk down the runway and I loved it.
It does look really intimidating as well.
It is pretty intimidating. I don't know. I think barefoot people are intimidating. And her and
Really?
Carlos Amano are both barefoot. And I was like, oh, shit, it's about to go down.
Jimmy Sucker says hello.
I'm thinking that and tramps.
Tramps say hello. I scare you, don't I? Give me some change.
Yes. So, there you go. Moving on. You did correctly say that you tweeted lots of pictures and things when you were out there, and
Yes.
and Instagram and through to Twitter as well. There was one Instagram picture that you put up a little while ago, and it was a picture of your horrifically bruised arm.
Oh, yeah.
And you captioned it with like, "Is it a new cheetah print sleeve, or have I been? I think it was hit by a sock full of marbles."
Yeah.
Explain what happened there.
Well, I can say that neither of those options were the truth, but
Option C. Always option C.
yes. It almost looked like I had a tattoo, like one of those cheetah print or whatever people do on their shoulder, but that was a result of a 4-show weekend that I had. That was 2 days at Sunday Girls, and then I had Friday at Sunday, Saturday at Sunday, and then Sunday I did Raina in the morning and Diana at night.
Wow.
And that's how my arm looked. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that the majority of it was from Sunday Girls because Satomura don't play.
She's got a reputation on that respect. So yeah, that's interesting.
What, did she injure people or something?
No. Just she's hard hitting. I mean, did you ever watch the Gaia Girls documentary?
I have seen that, yeah. So I already knew going into it.
Right in the face for messing something up.
Well, I'm happy to report that did not happen to me.
Did not get dropped in the face. Beautiful.
No, I don't think she could reach my face, to be honest, if I was standing. But if I was sitting down, I'd be screwed. So, no, she's very hard hitting. And that is what I expected. And that's fine because I can give it back as well.
Cool. Another thing, just to, again, bring up something that you tweeted while you were gone, was a bit of a bombshell that you decided that the best steakhouse in Tokyo was actually Mr. Danger and not the Ribera Steakhouse. Please explain. I've always had this drummed into me that the Ribera Steakhouse is the best place in the world. Please.
Man, I was hoping that was going to go unnoticed. Now I'm going to go back. He's going to be like, give me back my jacket. Give me back my Zubas.
Yeah, you got Zubas from Ribera, and you still said that Mr. Danger was better.
I got both. I got a jacket and Zubas.
No idea how jealous I am.
You should be. I'm just kidding.
Don't be,
no, I'm not kidding. I'm like, just kidding, not kidding. Ribera was, here's the difference. Ribera's great. I thought it was good steak. I was happy with it. Yeah. But, well, I wasn't paying for either of them. So, but still, I do look at things like that. So, Ribera steak on average is probably like $40. I think they have like a huge one that's $50. They give you the steak. It's a really good steak, and they give you corn, and I think that's it. So then you go to Ribera, and their huge steak is $20. It's delicious, and they give you like soup with it, and they give you whatever else, potato salad, vegetable, and the portions are so much better, and I think the steak was better, and it was for a better price. So I think that Ribera just has a lot of hype over the years. Not to say that it was bad, but they have that reputation, so they're able to charge as much as they want because people are just going to be like, oh, Ribera, I want to go there because it's the place to go and whatever. But then again, I guess I can't. First of all, I can't complain about price because I didn't pay, but I also can't complain about price because I did also get He also gave me clothes. So
Yeah. Did you get any free shit from Mr. Danger? That's the question.
I did get a Mr. Danger shirt. They do have a jacket that they are coming out with soon. So they were not able to give us jackets, but they did give me a shirt, which was nice.
Fine.
You're like, all right, I see you, Mr. Danger.
I'm burning up with jealousy.
Go over there. You're not that far.
I couldn't even begin to try and blag a Ribera jacket. How am I going to do that? Hi, I'm a wrestler. He's like, fuck out of here.
I know. I don't really know how that works because our manager did everything for us. So I don't know how wrestlers go over there. Like, do they just go in and say, hey, I'm a wrestler? Like, how do they verify it?
Like,
because
I know, or a promo picture or something, I guess.
I don't know. I think I heard someone mention bring a promo picture. I don't know because our manager just set up everything for us.
We know of a ref who got one.
Yeah, really.
Just make a fake promo picture and see if they accept it.
Although, in fairness, I don't think I'd want that referee's one because it was bright pink.
He got a bright pink jacket?
Yeah. Very proud of it, too.
I would like a bright pink jacket. The one I got is like navy blue, which I like. It's pretty sharp.
I wouldn't take it off.
I should just be one of those wrestlers that come back and just wear it all the time.
Yes.
Like, yeah, I got a Ribera jacket, wear it out to the ring.
Ribera jacket, Zubaz, and a fanny pack. It's all you need.
I also saw a fanny pack there while I was in Harajuku it was like a blue clear fanny pack, like the shiny plastic, and then it was covered in studs. And I should have got it. Now I'm actually really depressed.
There's a reason to go back, I suppose.
I know, that's the main reason I want to go back, to be honest.
Well, that was actually one of the follow up questions. I assume you want to go back. Are there plans for that?
We do have plans. I am in talks with Diana on when that will happen. I at least want to wait until after Christmas. It's just too close to the end of the year to deal with that right now. Which, if they had it their way, I'd be back in a couple weeks. But we are in talks to figure out when it'll work for both of us.
We need Kelly Skater on the show. I mean, she's done that a couple of times, go over sort of 3 months at a time. And
oh, yeah.
It was great the way that basically you didn't have to worry about anything else other than training and wrestling. It was kind of like perfect for her. Are you kind of cut from that same cloth?
Yes, I would say so. It was great to just be focusing on wrestling and myself, like focus on my diet and my workouts and wrestling. It was like I was living as a wrestler. I was making a living as a wrestler, and I don't think a lot of people get to say that. At least not a good living anyway, but I was. And
not if you want to wear shoes.
Yes. So it was great. I loved that. And if it wasn't for everything that I'd be missing over here, obviously, I would love to just stay there for longer than 3 months. But because of like family and the shows that I'd be missing here, I obviously can't. It's not worth it to me to miss the things over here.
Lee, we're losing her. We're losing her to Japan.
We are.
I just said I wouldn't.
The thing is, we worked so hard with the free AK-47 t-shirts.
we freed her too much.
Yeah, we did.
Hey, we need to talk about royalties, buddies.
We need to talk about royalties. We didn't make any money off those things. We sold them at cost price.
Oh, well, shit. Well, that's your fault.
All right, we'll send you a check for $0.00.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It'll be like WCW. It'll be great.
Oh.
No, WCW sit around for years and get paid. You're thinking of ECW.
No. Chris Jericho once received a FedEx in the mail of a royalty check for $0.00.
Really?
Oh, really?
From WCW, yeah.
Well, that's just a slap in the face.
Yeah, that's like, you're not over it, here's the proof. Wow.
But let's talk about the things that you said you'd be missing out on, because one of the things you missed out on while you were away was Shine, because you ended up getting suspended for 90 days. But you came back, and
yes.
You wrestled on Friday in a tag match as part of Shine 13. It was you and Eva Lise against Jessica Havoc and Amazing Kong. What was it like to be back at Shine after such a time away?
I was excited to be back at first. I was very upset about having to miss the 1 year anniversary show because I've been on every single Shine show since its birth, And then all of a sudden I have to miss, 3 shows that I miss?
3 long, arduous shows.
And that is very upsetting to me. And
It's upsetting to us.
I feel disrespected, really. And then this whole thing that Lexi's trying to do with, I don't know, prove a point, I guess, where Taylor is, suspended again.
Yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
I just think that I wish that this was I don't know, I feel like we have rights as citizens of Shine almost that are being violated or something.
Unfortunately, you don't have any rights because none of you can form a bloody union, can you?
We should.
Touche.
I feel like Valkyrie's kind of like a union, sort of, except without any of the rules and benefits.
You need to get Sarge on the go. He'll sort this out.
Yeah, so, I don't know what Lexi's trying to prove, but yeah, I'm back and I'm happy to be back, but it's almost bittersweet.
Yeah, because like I said, I mean, you've been teaming with Evilise, and we love Evilise. Evilise is great, but we also love Maiden Sin. And Taylor was not on the last show. She's not on the next show either from the announcement that was made today of the card for Shine 14.
Really?
Yeah. What's going on?
So, I'm sorry, I must have missed this announcement. What is this announcement?
Shine 14 card has been announced today, and you are teaming once again with Evilise.
Okay.
Not Taylor Made.
That's interesting.
On the positive note, apparently you're getting a shot at the Shimmer tag team titles.
Really?
So.
Well, that is positive, and obviously, Taylor and I are Maiden Sin, but I mean, we're also Valkyrie. So with Evilise, I'm more than happy to team with Evilise. She's my sister, but I don't understand why they're punishing Taylor.
You know, Shimmer's coming up as well. As we know, coming up very shortly, in fact, less than 3 weeks away. And you and Taylor are on that show, so Maiden Sin will presumably fly high at Shimmer. With Shimmer coming before Shine, can you foresee a possibility where you and Taylor win the Shimmer tag titles at Shimmer, and then you have to defend them against you and Evilise?
Oh, that would be great. That would be a great stipulation if I have to wrestle myself.
Yeah.
You're on both sides of the ring.
That would be interesting. I'll just be in a neutral corner, and then either of them can come tag me.
That's brilliant.
Either that, or we thought they'd have to have a one-on-one match for your partnership.
I don't know about all that, because I don't think that they would agree to wrestle each other.
Yeah, no, that's weird, but you wrestling yourself, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I would agree. I would agree to that match, and I think I would also agree to that match.
Well,
both of us.
There you go.
We've all-round agreement on this one. Let's do it.
All right, we just need to send this to... Well, first we have to win the championships, and then I guess we'll go from there.
Yeah, I guess so. Speaking of Shimmer, I mean, I think probably last time we talked to you, you'd yet to debut there, and you've obviously now worked a couple of tapings there. How have you enjoyed your Shimmer experiences so far? What's been your favourite moment, if I can ask that?
I've enjoyed it very much so. It's great to see all of the girls in one spot. It's weird, and it's just definitely going to be interesting now to see a lot of the Japanese girls that I've seen over in Japan. I actually ended up teaming with Hiroyo at one of the Sendai shows. Mm-hmm. So I'll be excited to see her again. Let's see. I definitely enjoyed Shimmer at WrestleCon with that giant tag match. It was very interesting. But to have all of those, to just be in the ring with all those women, it was very challenging. Obviously, I think we were the first ones eliminated, which I'm not very proud to say, but stuff happens.
By a one-legged woman, no less.
Yeah. And also, I enjoyed teaming with Suraya against Veda and Shazza and Von Eerie.
Yes.
At the last Shimmer tapings. That was fun, which I aforementioned her ripping off Veda's head.
Yes.
That was fun. Yeah,
I was actually saying that to Lee before we started recording that was, I think, my favourite memory of you guys from earlier in the year was that 6-woman match. I think you guys should team up more. That's my.
I would like to. I don't know when those DVDs come out, but when they do, and you get a chance to watch that match again, watch my face when Soraya's in the ring, because I think even I was like, my face looked like you wouldn't even guess that I was on her team. I was like, holy crap. She don't play. Homie don't play that. Is all I have to say about that. And then also, I'll be going to England in March.
Yes.
For her promotion, which I believe was announced a month ago or so.
Indeed, you will be part of Bellatrix 8.
Yes, very excited.
First time in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So you're slowly working your way through the continents.
Which I don't know, where are you located in relation to that?
I'm about 2 hours up the road.
Okay, so I expect you to be there.
I'll be calling the show.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Good.
So
no heads have to be smashed in. What about you, Stu?
That was Stu. No, this is Lake.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Right. There's the first edit to the show. Yeah.
I told you I'm terrible. I'm terrible.
That's okay. Yeah. No. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm about 3.5 hours drive away, so it's a little bit further, but it's all right. I drive a diesel.
Oh, nice.
No, it's more information than you needed, but I figured.
Such pride, Lee. Like anybody could possibly give a shit.
I need both of you talking at the same time, and then I can tell which one's which by your voices.
Well, the fact the accents are completely different.
Yeah, but us Americans, they're all the same to us. I'm just kidding.
Oh, Allysin Kay.
I'm joking, kind of. Not really.
You didn't play the race card there, Lee. Come on now.
I'm not going to play the race card. I sound like I sound my own race.
Speaking of racist, here's a funny story.
Oh, God, here we go.
Actually, it's not even that. It's not even about me, surprisingly, or Jessica. So there was one of the Japanese girls over in Japan was making fun of Chinese people, and she was pulling her eyes to make them more slanted.
Really?
She said that's how Japanese or Chinese people look.
Wow.
And I was laughing so hard I had stomach cramps because I could not believe that this person with eyes that were slanted were pulling their eyes to be more slanted to be Chinese. And then on top of that, to mock an American, she pulled her eyes down, she made her eyes wide, like she was putting toothpicks in them, which is also very entertaining and
of course,
racist. But
we're not going to name who this is.
Nah.
For obvious reasons. But, wow.
It was great. I took pictures of it.
Of course. I'm assuming they're not going to end up on Instagram.
They won't. Unless they piss me off, then maybe.
Blackmail pictures, even better.
Oh, yeah.
Just to get you to borrow some money in the future.
On my iPhone, I have, if you scroll down on all my photos, I would say the first, the tiniest bit of pictures is from, I don't know, the whole time I've had this iPhone. And then, I don't know, 85% of it is all pictures from Japan. I can't even update my iPhone because I don't have enough memory on my phone right now.
Chock full of blackmail pics. I like it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I love taking pictures of people when they're sleeping because I think it's funny. I have a lot of wrestlers sleeping on my phone. And then also, I like taking pictures of random people on the trains, which I don't know if you saw that on my Instagram or not. But
you're quite a creepy person, aren't you?
I am a little bit. And there would be people that are just unconscious on these trains. I swear they were leaking carbon monoxide. And it was just funny to me. Any weird looking people, I would just take pictures of. So if you were ever to go through my phone, you'd be like, why are all these pictures of these random Japanese people on her phone?
That and pictures of weirdly dressed Japanese children.
Yeah, I don't know. I might get in trouble for all the children pictures on my phone.
Again, yeah.
It's kind of weird. There's a lot. They'll have clothes on, so I don't think it's a big deal.
Oh, God.
Fine. There you go. But, we are now officially in fight season, female fight season, which means that everyone in the world is running shows within the space of about 3 weeks. And it would be wrong of us not to mention the WSU is coming up shortly as well on the 12th of October.
Yes. The female fight season, is that a sarcastic thing?
No.
Oh. I always thought it was a joke.
No. It's
making fun of the fact that everyone's running, or are people running because it's female fight season?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
There you go.
Yeah, WSU's coming up, and as far as I know, we're not defending the tag team championships, which I can't even remember. Yeah, I'm facing Kimber Lee.
Yeah, Kimber
Lee Burton.
Oh,
Hi.
Yes, I'm facing her in singles, which has never happened before, and I'm pretty interested in what's going to happen there. She likes to kick faces, as do I. So I think you would think we get along being so compatible that way, but I think it's going to work the opposite way.
Imagine that a dating profile, likes to kick faces.
Like, I like to kick faces too, but then we start kicking each other's face and then it's kind of awkward.
Let's meet up and kick.
Yeah. Athena actually commented on that on Twitter, saying faces will be kicked in all caps.
Yes.
And it is true.
Yes. Yeah, no, that match, first time ever match, actually, I'm quite excited about that one. That looks like it's going to be pretty great.
I want to point out just about that, that both of you are Ring Bells Award winners last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The winner of this match is Wrestler of the Year for 2013.
Oh, shit.
So everything to play for.
Yeah, it was an interesting one actually. This because it was originally announced as you and Steffi defending the tag team titles, and then there was a little awkward moment when Steffi explained that actually she's booked elsewhere on that show. So hence the singles match. This is like the tag team title defense that never happens, or apparently will never happen.
Yeah, I don't know. Kimberly. Well, I feel like I can't say Kimberly. It's Kimberly because I know another Kimberly in Shine, so it's very confusing.
Yeah. Someone should put them together.
So Kimber Lee keeps saying that we're ducking her and don't want to defend it. It's not our fault. We're not making the booking. It's WSU. And I remember before you asked me if I was keeping up to date with everything that was happening while I was in Japan. And for the most part, I was. But this is actually where I have a void. I'm kind of lost. I don't know. Something happened with Jessica, and then something happened with Stephanie on Twitter, and then I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if I'm lost. I'm just lost. Maybe you can fill me in. What's happening?
Social media issues between the Midwest militia. Yeah. Jessica wasn't able to make the last show due to travel issues, and I believe Steffi questioned the validity of said travel issues, which didn't go down too well with Miss Havoc. I think that's pretty much where it is at the minute.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, okay. And now Stephanie's booked at another show, and so it's me in singles, which is fine. But once again, I just have to reiterate that we are not ducking them. This is all WSU's booking.
But that match, October 12th, will be available on iPay-per-view. Worth the money alone right there.
Well, thank you.
Hey, speaking of Jessica Havoc replacements, you stepped in for Jessica at Femme Fatale in March. Had a match against cheerleader Melissa.
Yes.
Lots of people have said lots of good things about that. I haven't seen it myself, but I will have to get the DVD shortly, hopefully within the next few weeks. How was that match for you?
It was interesting. I had never wrestled Melissa before. I did have Stephanie and Mademoiselle Rochelle out there with me. It didn't fare too well for me in the end, but I did survive without my teeth missing, so I was happy about that. I did wear a mouth guard.
I think I remember seeing that in the pictures. Yeah, why? Just that match? Or was that something you're doing?
No, I wouldn't say it's something I'm doing. I just decided that it would be a good idea. As you know, like you said, I stepped in for Jessica, so it was kind of like a last minute, hey, you're facing cheerleader Melissa. So I felt
I need a mouth guard for this one.
So I felt like maybe since I didn't get to prepare for it mentally or physically as much as I would have, I needed to take another precaution because I really like my teeth.
Makes sense. Now that you're back in the US, your bookings are starting to stack up. I know you were announced today as being part of Beyond Wrestling's Tournament for Tomorrow 2 in November. First time back in Beyond since 2010, apparently.
Yes. Beyond Wrestling was actually my very first match on the indies, and I'm using quotation marks when I say that. The place where I trained in Detroit, I had matches on their shows, but my first time venturing out to somewhere else was Beyond Wrestling, and that's actually where I met John Thorne and how I got booked for AIW against Jessica Havoc. So it was like the first little stepping stone, and I haven't been back since, but yes, I will be in their tournament in November.
And that's at undisclosed locations. Contact Beyond Wrestling for information on that, I believe, in the middle of November sometime. Apart from Beyond and obviously WSU and Shimmer and Shine coming up and AIW this weekend, don't forget about that one. What else have we got as far as plans are concerned? What else are you looking forward to? What else can you tell people about? Is there anything else?
Really, the only thing other than everything you just mentioned is Bellatrix in March of next year, which I did mention earlier. And then also just to be on the lookout for any new Japan news. But I really can't even say anything as far as definite plans for that yet.
Fair enough. So, I think we'll probably draw a line under it there. There's plenty of opportunities, once again, for everyone to see Allysin Kay during the next month, either in person or on iPay-per-view. We'll put links up in the show notes for the various links you need for that. I will see you at Shimmer coming up shortly, and good luck for whatever you got coming up.
Thank you.
I wonder how many people we insulted during this show.
Not enough.
No, clearly not enough.
All right, we're going to do this again sometime. We're going to see if we can piss off everyone.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Allysin Kay pisses off everyone could be another YouTube show.
Oh, yeah, we got a lot lined up here. I'm liking how this is looking.
All right, good. Okay, well, thanks very much once again, and podcast fans. We may have another show next week. Who knows?